Today I'll be discussing one of my favorite topics, and that's the rivalry between Tifa and Aerith. And maybe it's not even a rivalry. They don't seem to consider themselves rivals in the game, but they're both amazing characters, and I feel they each complement Cloud in their own unique way. Before I start, I just want to make a few things clear. I never got very far in the original Final Fantasy VII. I've never played Crisis Core, and I've never seen the movie Advent Children. So pretty much everything I say is only based on what I saw in the remake. And with that out of the way, I'll get started. Anyway, the remake starts with Cloud helping Barrett and company blow up the first reactor. And once that's done, you have a chance encounter with Aerith before returning to 7th Heaven, where you first meet up with Tifa in-game. My first thoughts on Tifa were that she was just drop-dead gorgeous and really sporty looking. She treats Cloud really well, gives him a place to stay. The next morning she starts showing him around town, and it's all really nice, but at the same time, I can't help but feel a little sad. They're childhood friends who haven't seen each other in years, and while Tifa is going out of her way to be really nice, Cloud seems a bit cold and distant.
It's a little bare, but should be enough to get you through the night. If you want anything else, we can always get it.
There's one thing. My money. You guys owe me 2,000, remember?
And I think that's part of his problem. He's kind of in his own shell, and his time as a soldier seems to have had an effect on him also. There's a moment when Tifa asks him what it was like, but he can't really bring himself to talk about it much.
So, after you left the village, I let you off the hook before, back at the hall, but not this time.
Well, when we were kids, everybody wanted to be a soldier, right?
Yeah, I remember they were on the news every day during the war.
Thing is, by the time I finally made it in, they didn't need heroes anymore. It was nothing like what we dreamt of. It was just working for Shinra. Just...
I'm sorry. I know it's a touchy subject.
Not exactly small talk. Especially with someone you haven't seen in a while.
I get it.
I can only imagine what he's holding back. If you've completed the original game, then you probably know more about it. But to say that I get the feeling he's keeping some dark secrets to himself would be an understatement. But at this point, I'm starting to get an idea of what their relationship is like, and I find it so intriguing. They're childhood friends who were separated when Cloud left to become a soldier, but now he's back, and I sense a deep love and appreciation there, especially from Tifa, but I'm not sure if Cloud is able to answer it back. Throughout the game, it gives you little hints and tender moments. There's that part where they jump off the train together and Tifa lands on Cloud. Or the part where Cloud remembers that he made Tifa a promise when they were kids.
Just promise me one thing. When we're older, and you're a famous soldier, if I'm ever trapped or in trouble, promise you'll come and save me.
Also, if you unlock it, there's that part where Tifa asks Cloud for a night out to celebrate his return. Cloud agrees, and it lets you choose what kind of outfit Tifa should wear. It gives you the option of refined, sporty, and exotic. Tifa seems really excited, but Cloud seems pretty indifferent for the most part.
You know what? We should totally celebrate. Let's dress up and hit the town.
Really?
I mean, why not? It'll be fun.
Do you even have fancy clothes?
Not like fancy, but I'll figure something out. What do you think would suit me, huh?
Something refined.
Yeah, I guess we're not kids anymore. Be sure to pick an outfit that goes with mine, okay?
Will do.
This is gonna be so much fun. You'll see.
Yeah. Maybe.
My take is that Tifa is essentially trying to ask Cloud out on a date, but she can't bring herself to do it straight up. Then when you go back outside, the old lady Marl says that she notices something different about Tifa, but Tifa has no idea what she's talking about. Regardless, the way it plays out, you can easily make the argument that it's just a friendship date. The fact is, I've never seen Tifa openly flirt with Cloud in that way, the way I've seen Aerith and Jessie. Well, Jessie, of course, is ridiculous. She's just more for comic relief than anything. But at least in my time playing the remake, I never saw anything that I could say without a doubt was openly flirtatious between Cloud and Tifa. It's like they've been best friends since kids and they have too much respect for each other. And that's one of the things that I find so interesting about their relationship. Like I said, it gives you hints here and there, but nothing is ever clear cut. At least not in the remake. If there's something in the original, then that's different, but I wouldn't know because I never played it. But anyway, when you get to the store part, where both Tifa and Aerith are knocked out, you get to choose which one to help up, and if you choose the Tifa path, then later in the game you get the Tifa hug scene. If you watch closely, Tifa doesn't necessarily hug Cloud. She just kind of leans on him. She seems emotionally broken down and needs support. It's Cloud who ends up hugging her. It takes him a little while, and he's initially thrown off by the situation because he's Cloud. He's not used to letting go or being open with his feelings. But eventually he does hug her, and even hugs her so tight that he starts hurting her.
Can't sleep?
No. You too?
I heard footsteps.
Sorry. Didn't mean to wake you.
I'm a light sleeper. It's a soldier thing.
That flower you gave me the other night, that was from Aerith, wasn't it? I knew there was something weird going on. You buying flowers? They symbolize reunion, believe it or not. I was curious, so I looked it up. I tried to keep it alive as long as I could. But now, it's dead and buried. Like the bar. Our home. And everything else. They took everything from us. Again. Cloud.
Huh?
Cloud, You're hurting me. It's stupid. I know that crying's a waste of time.
That's not true.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful scene, but again, you can totally argue that it's just a friendship hug. Like, Cloud was being there for her as a friend. How you perceive all this is debatable, and it's really up to each individual. I personally was left a bit frustrated and wanting more. It's like I sense a deep love there, but they can't express it in a romantic way. I myself as a player love Tifa because I see how amazing and nice she is. But can Cloud see it? Maybe not. And that's a bit tragic, but that's kind of part of the story. With Aerith, things are a bit different. I mean, pretty much from the beginning, she has a sort of manipulative or playful flirtiness about her. I don't mean that in a negative way, but when you meet her at the church and Reno shows up, she offers to pay Cloud with a date if he acts as her bodyguard. Yeah, she straight up says it, a date. And early on, there were times when I felt like she was kind of using Cloud and not being totally honest about what she was up to. Like when you get to her house and she offers to, show Cloud the way to Sector 7, and Cloud wonders what the whole point of him escorting her home was then, since apparently she's not even that worried about the Turks finding her. This scene, in my opinion, is pretty symbolic of what their relationship was like early on.
And this is Cloud, my bodyguard.
Hi.
Take good care of her?
That's my job. Or was my job.
Yep, thanks. So Cloud, you gonna head back to Sector 7?
Yeah.
Then I'll show you the way.
Then why'd you have me bring you here? What if the Turks show up again?
It'd suck, but I've dealt with them before. Honestly, I'm much more worried about you. What if you get lost, huh? You'd be too embarrassed to admit it, and so you'd just keep on going.
Quit acting like you know me.
Hey, Mom, I'm gonna go take Cloud over to Sector 7, okay?
Okay. But why not wait until tomorrow? If you head out now, it'll be dark when you get back. Better to rest up here and make the trip first thing in the morning, when you'll have daylight to spare.
That's true. She's got a point, Cloud.
Hold up.
Oh yeah, I still need to deliver some flowers to the Leaf House. Since we have a little time before dinner, you should come with.
That wasn't the deal.
You mean you want more? Even though you've got a priceless reward coming your way? Do you know what I promised him?
I'll do it.
I'll go grab the baskets. Be right back.
You can see there at the end, she even threatens to tell her mom about the whole date as payment thing in order to get him to go deliver flowers with her. In a later scene, Aerith's mother asks Cloud if he can just leave at night without telling Aerith. So Cloud ends up sneaking out in the middle of the night, only for Aerith to suddenly appear in front of him again.
Well, look who it is. Talk about a coincidence.
What are you doing here?
Waiting.
Why?
Because I'm not sick of you yet.
Lead on, then.
With pleasure.
And that's how Aerith behaves early on. It's like she's playing some kind of game almost. I'm not sure I understand why she's acting like that, but it's early. She doesn't know Cloud that well yet. And it's not like she could just tell everyone that she's an ancient and that the Turks watch over her. It's also possible she uses this playful attitude to sort of shield herself and others from her problems. But overall, she has a savviness about her that usually gets Cloud to do things he normally wouldn't. And that's not such a bad thing, since Cloud can be kind of a dud sometimes. He needs someone to push him out of his shell a bit. And that's what Aerith does for the most part. And while Cloud is initially reluctant, it's obvious that she starts to grow on him. Of course, later in the game, you end up going through that whole crazy wall market ordeal with her, and it becomes a thing. Along the way, there's also that part where you spend time talking to her in that playground. I thought that was a really powerful scene. It's romantic, and there's just something really special about the background and scenery that just makes it all iconic. Of course, Tifa and Cloud also have a similar scene, but they're both kids at the time, so it hits completely different in my opinion. I should also mention that this playground part is where Aerith tells Cloud about her first love. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. It doesn't seem like the most romantic thing to say at the time, to bring up someone else. But who knows? I mean, Aerith is a bit different. I can't say that I always understand her. Of course, in the remake, when Aerith mentioned Zack's name, Cloud can't hear it. He gets one of those flashback headaches. So I'm not sure how different that plays out in the original. Then there's that part at Wall Market where Aerith comes out wearing that beautiful dress and Cloud looks totally mesmerized. I do think that says something about Cloud and his state of mind. Obviously he likes what he sees. So if you end up choosing the Aerith path, you get that scene where Cloud talks to a dream version of Aerith or something. Because remember, Aerith is captured at that point. But she straight up tells Cloud that whatever happens, he can't fall in love with her. And even if he thinks he has, it's not real. To which Cloud responds by asking, "Do I get a say in all this?" The way he behaved, it could be a sign that he's already got some feeling for her. But what did Aerith mean by that it's not real?
How is this? Is this a dream?
Maybe. You tell me.
You okay?
Don't I look it? I used to live in the Shinra building, back when I was really little.
Your mom told us.
Right. So it kind of feels like I've gone back to my childhood home, Honestly, it's not that bad.
So what? You want to stay?
Come on, Cloud. Don't be silly.
Your mom's really worried too.
Two? So you're worried about me?
Of course I am.
I'm sorry about that. Really.
Is that...
Everyone dies eventually.
I suppose.
So we need to make the most of the time we have. To live our lives the way we want to live. Every minute, every moment matters.
I'll remember that.
Good. So...
You need to embrace this moment. Right?
I'm glad I met you, Cloud. I really am. I'm grateful for all the words we've shared, for all the moments and the memories. You've made me more happy than you know. And I'll always cherish what you've given me. But whatever happens, you can't fall in love with me. Even if you think you have, it's not real.
Do I get a say in all this?
It's almost morning. Time to go.
I'm coming for you.
If that's what you want. Thank you.
The scene itself is pretty interesting. It kind of has a sad tone to it. The way Aerith is talking almost makes me feel like they're foreshadowing to the fact that she later dies in the original. But how could she possibly know that at that point in the remake? Throughout the game, there's visions that seem to reference the original timeline, and it all makes you think that maybe things aren't what they seem. Obviously, there's the whole thing with the Whisperers, and then there's also theories that Aerith from the remake is aware of the original timeline. I don't know, she could also be alluding to the whole thing about her being an ancient and how she was pretty much raised in the lab and they're constantly wanting to experiment on her. All that might have her feeling like she's not a normal human that Cloud should fall in love with. I think that probably makes more sense logically. But I don't know, I'm not sure if the game ever makes that totally clear. Maybe it's clear to someone else, but for me it's one of those parts that I'm not sure I fully understood. But overall, the feeling to me is that the Aerith and Cloud relationship is a more openly romantic one, as where Tifa and Cloud's relationship is kind of stuck in the friend zone. Even though I do think there's more to it, neither can really express it. In Cloud's case, he might not even be aware of it because he's such a withdrawn character who's so used to suppressing his feelings. We might have seen an example of that during the hug scene when he hugs Tifa so hard that he even starts hurting her. It's like he was releasing pent up feelings and wasn't even aware of it. With Aerith, it's a bit different. Her having that more straightforward, sassy nature kind of helps Cloud come out of his shell a bit more. I always point to that crazy cross-dressing part where Cloud is doing something totally out of his nature and Aerith is pretty much encouraging him the whole time. And I can't help but wonder if it had been the other way around, if Tifa would have done the same thing. I don't know, but I kind of doubt it. I see Tifa as more like Cloud in that way, so she probably just would have thought it was silly. And those are the kind of things that help Cloud lighten up a bit. So when you look at it like that, you can argue that maybe Aerith is exactly what Cloud needs, or at least, she complements him better in a certain way. So then who's really the main female protagonist? Well, I think both complement Cloud in their own way. Aerith, in my opinion, provides the more straightforward romantic relationship, while Tifa is the childhood friend who is there for emotional support. In the end though, if I had to choose, I would go with Tifa. I just find her and Cloud's relationship more touching. They've known each other since kids, and their love is deeper rooted, in my opinion. I get the feeling that if they ever got there, if they were ever able to materialize their feelings, it would be nirvana. It would be true harmony. Aerith to me comes off more as the date type of relationship, the type you'll probably have more than one of in your life. I don't know too many people who have had, one relationship since junior high and ended up together the rest of their lives. It sounds nice, but it rarely works out that way. It obviously didn't work out that way for Aerith. And that's something I need to bring up. Cloud isn't Aerith's first love. Aerith has had Zack as her boyfriend before. And that's just another reason why I don't feel as strong about the Cloud and Aerith relationship. And maybe that's messed up of me. I don't know. There are some girls who are Team Aerith and they're actually kind of offended by that. But I guess I'm just the old-fashioned fairy tale type of guy. Anyway, I don't know how the original ends, but I do know that Aerith dies. So obviously it wasn't a happily ever after thing for Cloud and Aerith. But now that they've broken out of the original timeline, what if Aerith doesn't die this time? The relationship situation could also play out differently. And that's why I find it so interesting. It seems pretty much anything can happen going forward.